Hello. Welcome to another tree tutorial. This time I'm going to show you how to make a palm tree. This particular palm tree, we're going to do the trunk with all the displacement, this bit with all the displacement, whatever this bit is called, and then we're going to, first we're going to do the leaves, because they're the most problematic, shall I say. That we have to use the hair system for this, and honestly, the hair system can be really erratic and frustrating, but I'm pretty sure I've found a way around all the little kinks and issues. So let's not muck around, let's get involved. So file, new, let's create a new file. I normally flit between forward view with 1 and right view, which is 3, so between the two. I've always got one there and all. Okay, so to get the stem, we do it, well, this is the way I do it. I add a plane, Shift A, mesh plane. I go into edit mode, and then I'm gonna go to mesh, merge at center. So we've just got one vertex. That's in my quick menu, and then back into front view, just extrude right up like that. Then select both, right click, subdivide once, twice, press 3 to go into the side view, and we want the top of it to dangle further down than the rooty bit, which would be this thing. That looks about right. It's a bit angular, but we can fix that very quickly with modifier, generate subdiv, put that up to 2, and then hover over Control A. Now I've got a lovely curve. I just want to make sure though that it's still on its origin point. About there, I guess. Oh, hello. I'm going to bring him down. Doink. Okay. Now we want to give it some geometry. So again, modifier, generate skin. And then if you press Alt Z, we'll be in X-ray mode. Tab into edit mode, select the top one. And make sure you've got proportional on, which is O, and then Control A, and use the mouse wheel to drag this. So I want it a lot thinner. So I'm just making that circle bigger, maybe not that big. Let's have a look. Alt Z out of thingy. Probably could do with it being a bit thinner, I think. So I'm going to tab into edit mode again, and just Control A that down. And then I'd like the bottom to be, I'm going in and out of X-ray with Alt Z. I want the bottom to also be a bit thinner, like that, I guess. Yeah, that looks cool. All right, and then Control A over the skin, because we want that as geometry, because we're going to stick hair to this, and it's way easier with just this one face rather than a bunch of faces pointing in different directions. The normal is just literally pointing along the X. Okay, so we've done that. That's our stem. And we're now going to add some particles or some hair. So click on particles and then plus, click on hair, drag number to 0. Hair length, will leave that. Segments, this whole thing is a mystery to me. And I've tried so many ways. I've put 30 segments, 10 segments, whatever, and I get this similar problem, but I think I know what that is. But anyway, leave that at 5. And then under viewport display, put the strand steps up to 5. And then if you, with this selected, go to particle edit. And then over here, you'll have a menu. If that's not here, just press T. So we want add. And if we go to here, we've got the properties. And we don't want, if we click once, we're going to get 10. I just want 1 strand. Steps, leave it at 10, I guess. Yeah, and then leave a bit of space for it to grow from whatever it's growing from, and then just start clicking. Wait, what's happened to the mirror? Back into my properties, I want add. Options there, mirror X. Oh, as usual. See what I mean about the hair? It is the most frustrating part of Blender because it changes behavior every time. I have done this 6 times this morning And this has been a problem once where it just refuses to mirror. So what I'm going to do is add them all, and then I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll come back, but I'll just speed it up. Thanks, Blender. Doink. Right, there we go. As I say, if this had worked, for whatever reason it didn't, you'd just do one side and it'd be mirrored on the other side, which means that the comb is not going to mirror either. All right, anyway, so I now have this shape, but I need to cut it into the leaf shape. And this is normally where the problems arise. If you cut too short, the hair thing becomes an absolute nightmare. Just twists appear at random. We're probably going to see them, but there are ways around it. So I want to cut not too close, so probably like that. And again, this has always been regardless of how many steps or whatever I put in, I always get the kink. Well, not always. Sometimes I don't. Yesterday, I didn't get any kinks at all, and this went perfectly smoothly. Had I recorded it yesterday, I wouldn't have tried it 6 times this morning. All right, okay. So that's kind of the shape. And now I need the upper comb. I'm going to go to comb, shift space, by the way, you get this menu. I want the comb, and I want it, normally I don't, put the center of the circle on the hairs. I'll just use the edges like this, because I want these to spread this way somewhat. As I say, if your topology worked in your mirror, then you'd be doing this on one side. It's probably better that it's not mirrored, because then it's not completely symmetrical and is more of a natural leaf, I guess. So doing it the long way, that's with most things, is probably the better way to do it. I just want these to be sticking up more. There we go. Now I'll just cut these ones here just to make them a little bit the same size, like this. Okay, now this is where the problems are likely to begin. I'm just going to push all of them up like a palm tree. So again, if the mirror is working for you, it's going to do both sides at the same time, but this is probably the better way. Okay, we're not seeing my usual problems, which is wonderful. We are down here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring them up. And again, I'm not using the middle of the brush, I'm just using the outside. And even though they look quite janky, we'll fix that. So now I'm in side view. I just want to bring the top of the branches down to weep somewhat. Okay, and I would like these to be more downy, if that's a word. And again, they look a bit angular, but we'll fix that afterwards. This is just the best way I've seen to make something like this without the hair system giving me an absolute nightmare of annoying kinks that appear despite how much resolution. I think that's all right. Yeah, I reckon that's all right. Okay, so that's no, actually, I think I'm just going to bring the whole thing down more. So again, I'm just using the outside of the brush rather than sticking the center on, because then it's too harsh. So I'm just trying to get these to dangle down even more. Let's have a look. One. I'm just going to do a bit here as well. Just a case of going around and just messing it up like that. Not ideal, Nick. Yeah, I think that's cool. Maybe, can I just bring some of these down a little more? Yeah. Yeah, they just look a bit weird there. And the issue is as well that you move things on one angle, and then if you look at it from another, it's all gone weird, which it kind of has. So I'm just going to make that bigger. Just comb that forwards again. Cool. Okay, let's not mess around with that too much. Okay, so now we've got to turn this into geometry. So the first thing we want to do, now that we're happy with the shape, is to go to the modifiers and click Convert to Mesh, like that. What it will do is it's still, the particle system is still visible when you click on the stem, so just turn it off, you don't need to see that, and then click on these. And the way we're going to do this is to turn it into a curve. So if you go to Object, Convert, where's Convert? Convert, Curve. Okay, and now they're all curves. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so now that curve, now it's a curve, we can start to add geometry. Now the way we do this is if you do the same as at the very beginning, add a plane, move that, turn off orthographic, proportional with O, and then just rotate that on the X 90, tab into edit mode, and then press X, only just faces, so X faces. Wait, only faces, X, only faces. There we go, so it leaves the edges. And then tab into object mode and then convert that to a curve. Now if we go back over and click on our leaves, if we go to, we've got geometry right here, and the object, if we select object under bevel and then the little eyedropper and select this plane, and it's going to look crazy. So first select the plane and let's just scale that down. Keep going, keep going, keep going till we see some gaps. Yeah, about there. Okay. And you'll notice they're quite square. We need a bit of width because we're going to shove a subdiv on this eventually. So all we need to do is select this, we'll call it shape. There we go. And then we either need to, well, if you press SX first, yeah, that's the one. See, it's just, by doing that, we're thinning the ends there. And talking of the ends, we also want to fill caps down here in the bevel. Wrong one. Click on this and then click fill caps. There we go. Okay, so that's a start. What we need to do now is they need to taper off at the ends. So we're going to need another curve. So if Shift 8, curve, and then NURBS curve. Yeah. I'm just going to bring that up here, and I'm going to rotate that on the X by 90. And if we now select our leaves, and then under taper object, we select the curve, we'll call that, where is he? There. Taper. Okay, so now we know. So now we've got taper. And if we select this and we start messing around with the points, you see what happens. So this is the leaves coming out. This is the ends. I want another one in the middle, so I'm going to select both of them and subdivide that, just so we've got a bit of control of the middle, like that. Because I'd like the, I like the ends not being huge. And now we just need to, don't hide it. I just need to taper off that a little bit more. Not. Maybe there. Yeah, that looks leafy. All right. Okay, so now we've done that, we can select that. Let me just double check I've done everything I wanted to do. Yes. And then, actually, hang on. What happens, as you can see, is that these are slightly sticking out. So what I'm going to do while they're all still a curve is I'm going to select 1/2 of this, just the branches on the right. Oh, hello. And I'm going to bring them further, so moving it on the X, but turn off O if you've still got proportional on. So I'm just going to bring those into the branches. And if you press Control I, invert the selection, you can do the same thing on the other side, can't you? GX. There we go. So now they shouldn't look like they're not growing out of the plant. Let's have the butchers. Yep, all good, all good. Okay, so now we've done that. We want to convert this to a mash. A mash? Do the monster mash. Object, convert, mesh. And now we have a jabbly mesh. Okay, so resolution is actually not bad, so I'm just going to shade smooth them. Yeah, that looks all right. Maybe I could have tapered the edges a little more. You might want to do that. Just even, you know, taper it so it's more of a point. I might have left it a little large, Okay, sweet. Let's have a look. Let's just put a bog standard material on just so we can see it looking a bit green and not there. And then you can link that, so I'm just linking the materials. Okay. I like that. I like that. Now I guess we've made it. I don't know how many minutes that's been. But I think actually that might be a good spot to stop. Maybe this will be a 3-part series, because that did take a little bit of time. It won't take as long with the rest when we make the materials and the stalk and whatnot. So let's leave it there, and I'll come back with part 2 in a bit. Bye.